Yeah, good morning. Today we are going to discuss image enhancement. Yeah, enhancement in the spatial domain, right? So basically, there are two types of enhancement procedures. So first one is enhancement in the spatial domain. Second one is enhancement in the frequency domain. So first we'll see what do you mean by image enhancement or objective of enhancement. So say it's a process, right, uh, which is used, right, to improve the quality of the image. So to process an image so that the result is more suitable than the original image for a specific application. Means basically we are improving the quality of the image, right? Enhancement method, as I said, there are two types. So first one is the spatial domain. Spatial domain means we are applying these techniques mainly on the pixels of the image. So that is called as spatial domain method, or I can say it is based on the direct manipulation of the pixels in an image. Right? So second one is the frequency domain, where it is based on modifying the Fourier transform of the image. Right? Means we are taking Fourier transform of the image, then you can apply the different methods to enhance the image. Right? And ultimately the viewer is the judge. So next one is so next we'll see how exactly we can represent images. How we can represent pixels in an image. So this is the pixel representation in an image, right? Say this is the central pixel. I can say this is 3 cross 3. You can find 3 rows and 3 columns, right? So this is the center pixel. So this I am representing by f of xy, right? So f of xy. Then left to this f of xy, I am representing it as f of x comma y minus 1. See, if we check the second row, along this row, the x coordinate will remain same, only the y coordinate will change, right? So just here, this is x, f of x, this is y minus 1, y plus 1. Similarly, if we check this second column, right? So the central pixel, we are representing it as f of xy. Then if we move above the f of xy, so this will be, see, this is along the y-axis. Along the y-axis, your y coordinate will remain same. Only the x coordinate will change. So this is x minus 1, x plus 1. Only x coordinate is changing, as y will remain same. So if we check the third column, right, again your y coordinate will remain same and only the x coordinate will change its value. So here it is x, this is x minus 1, this is x plus 1. So if we start from first row, right, so along the x-axis, right, along the x-axis its x coordinate will remain same and only the y coordinate will change the value. So f of x minus 1, y minus 1, f of x minus 1, y, f of x minus 1, y plus 1. So x coordinate is remaining same here, right? Similarly, check the second row here. So in the second row, again your x coordinate will remain same. So f of x, y minus 1, f of x, y, f of x, y plus 1. Again the y coordinate is changing here. So if we check the third row, right, again x coordinate is same only, x plus 1, x plus 1, x plus 1, and again y coordinate is changing, right. So simple it is. So if you are checking along the row means, right, along the row the x coordinate will remain same and y coordinate will change its value, right. If you checking along the column means, right, along the y axis means y coordinate will remain same and x coordinate is changing. So this is about pixel representation in any of the image. So next is, right, so spatial domain methods means whatever the methods we have, those methods we are applying on the or directly on the image pixels. Say f of xy is any of the pixel in an image, right, then t is the transformation or the t that operates only on that particular pixel, then g of xy is the modified pixel, right. Say this is the input, f of xy is the input and g of xy is the output, and t is the operation that basically performed on the original pixel, right. So next one is level transformation function for the contrast enhancement. So enhancement means, again I can say it's a process or we are applying some methods on the pixels of an image so that we can improve the quality of the image. Clarity in the sense after transformation, that image will have more information or clear information compared to the original image. So here, so this is so R is the input level, S is the output level, S equal to T of R, or I can say whatever the S you can find here, that you are getting after the transformation. So just see here. That T operates with the neighboring pixels. So next concept we have mask or filter. So what happens is, say this is one image, this is one image, right. It has got n number of pixels. Say we are using filter for this or kernel for this. So what we are doing is we are taking this particular window, 3x3 window, and the central pixel is x comma y. So we'll go on moving the filter along the row wise, right. So we'll start from the topmost left and we'll keep on moving this filter. Then what will happen is, say I am keeping this filter at the topmost side, right. Say the pixel values, I'll just show here. Right. $125, 130, 145, then 170. Randomly I am taking the values here. 120, 155. Then 178, 155, say 195, right. Say this is the whole image, right, and now I'll put this 3x3 mask. Say this is 3x3 mask. Say it is M0, M1, M2, or I can say M0, 0, M01, M02, M10, M11, M12, M30, M31, M3. So what we are doing is, in spatial filtering, we are right. So I am just keeping this mask here. Right. Next, what will happen is, basically in spatial domain filtering, we are taking average of all these pixels like 125, 130, 145, 170, 120, 155, adding all these values divided by total number of pixels, means 9. So addition of all these pixel values or intensity values divided by 9. So whatever the value I am getting, right, that value I am replacing with the center pixel. So this 120 is replaced by that particular value. Okay, right. So then after this iteration, I am moving this mask. So this is basically 3 cross 3 mask. So this mask will be moved towards right side. Then this 155, right. So this acts as central pixel f of xy. Then again now this is my mask or window, right. So again I'll check with the values. Say it is 100, 120, 120, 125, right. So now I am interested in this window. Now I am taking average of all these intensity values, and whatever the value I am getting, that I am replacing with the 155. So what is the motto of this spatial filtering is, you can reduce the noise, right. So the minimum mask you can expect is 1. Hence I can say g of xy equal to f of xy, means you are operating on a single pixel value, right. So you can move this mask. You can move this mask 3 cross 3 mask till the bottom of the right. So up to this you can move this, right. Similarly, you can have a 5 cross 5 mask, 7 cross 7 mask. So what is the intention is, you are taking average of all the intensity values and replacing with the central pixel. This you need to perform throughout the image, right. So basically we'll use 3 cross 3 masks to remove the noise in an image, right. So this mask, or sometimes we'll call it as filter, kernel, template, or window, right. So this will start from top of the leftmost side and will move in a horizontal manner. Can stop at this point, right. So as I explained, this is the mask, right. So basically the mask value or coefficient value is multiplied with this one, or in simple words you can say you are just taking the average of all the neighborhood pixels. Same way, taking average. So here you can make out the difference here. This is the original image and this is the processed image. Means you can remove the noise part by moving a mask of any size, say 3 cross 3, 5 cross 5 or 7 cross 5 throughout the image. Yeah, next is some basic level, some basic gray level transformation, right. So in this, what we are doing is, before this, before that we have one more concept called contrast enhancement, right. So what we are doing is, in contrast enhancement, say this is the input image, say R, and S is the output image. So what we are doing is, we are say this is the intensity level. So intensity level is, say, 0 to 255, and we have one at center. We are showing it by M, right? So intensity values less than M are made as dark. Getting? So in contrast stitching or contrast enhancement, whatever the intensity values we are having less than M, say this is a threshold, so these values we are making them as darker, and intensity values above M, right, they are made as bright, so that you can clearly see the information within that particular image. So here, so can you make out the difference here? Clear? So intensity values less than M, say it is 0, it is 125, or say 150, this is 255. So intensity values less than M are made darker, and intensity values greater than M, they are made bit brighter or bright. Then you can clearly find the information here. This is R, this is S equal to T of R. This is original image, and this is the image after transformation, right? So this is called as contrast stretching. So next is some basic level transformations. So we have negative image, log transformation, power law transformation, and all. We'll see one by one. So first we'll start with negative. Yeah, image negative, or right. So in image negative transformation, what we are doing is, here. So just concentrate on this line. This is negative image. See, see, R means, say it is related to your input image, and mainly input gray level. So this is the intensity gray level, and what is the range here? 0, L minus 1. See, gray image means, what is the range? 0 to 255, right? Then L by 2 means around 128 and all, right? So this is your output gray level. Yes. So input gray level we are indicating by R, output gray level we are indicating by S. So what we are doing is, in case of your image negative or negative image, right? See, this is input. If the input gray level is 0 means we are mapping it for L minus 1. L minus 1 means, see, L means it is 256. So 256 minus 1 means 255. Right? So if the intensity, input intensity gray level intensity value is 0 means we are mapping it to 255. And if the input gray level value is 255 means we are mapping it to 0. Clear? So that is the meaning of negative image. So basically what we are doing is, the dark pixels we are making them as bright, and bright pixels are mapped into dark, means 0 to 1 transformation and 1 to 0 transformation. So this line indicates the negative image. So 0 is converted into 255, right, and 255 is converted into 0 intensity value, right? So you can observe here. So this, and you can use this formula. See, quite simple it is. S equal to L minus 1 minus R. R means it is the input gray level, S means it is the output gray level value, and L means it is 255 maximum intensity value. Why it is 255 only? Because 2 raised to 8, right? So 2 raised to 8 is 256, right? Okay, now how we can what we can do is, say your input gray level is 0. Say your input gray level is 0. So what we observed is, if it is 0 means it has to be converted to 255. So this formula we can use here. If it is 0 means it has to be made as 255. So I am just replacing R by 0 here, right? S equal to L means 256. So 256 minus 1 is 255 minus 0. So again it becomes 255. Clear? So if R is 0, your S becomes 255. Now say R is 255. If R is 255 means it has to be made as 0. So if I replace R by 255, that becomes 256 minus 1 means 255 minus input is again 255. So it becomes 0. Means we are converting black pixels into bright and bright pixels into black. Right? So why it is required is, say this is figure A and figure B. Figure A indicates original digital mammogram, right? Then B indicates negative image obtained using the negative transformation using this equation, right? So you can identify the information in a better way compared to the previous image, right? So that is about image negative. So this is again related to contrast stretching. Means we are making intensity levels less than M as darker and intensity values above M more bright. Next we have log transformation. So you can observe here. So this curve is indicating the log transformation. So what happens is, in case of your log transformation, you can use this formula, S equal to C log of 1 plus R. Again R means it is the input gray level value in the original image, and S is the output gray level value. And what about C? C is a constant and R should be made as greater than 0. So what it does is, it maps the narrow range of low intensity levels into wide range of output levels. So that is the purpose of using log transformation, right? So you can find two figures here. Figure A will indicate the Fourier spectrum, and figure B result of applying the log transformation with C. C is a constant. C value is made as 1 here. Yeah, you can make out here. So this is the original image and this is the processed image. So processed image means it maps narrow range of low input intensity levels into a wide range of output levels, right? So next one is power law transformations. So what happens is, in case of your power law transformations, you can use this equation, S equal to C R raised to gamma. It plots of the equation, right, for the various values of gamma, and in all the cases we are keeping the value of C as, or we are fixing it for 1, right? This here, the first curve will indicate gamma as 0.04, 0.1, 0.2, 0.4 and all. Means you can vary the gamma value. Again what it does is, it maps the narrow range of input or narrow range of low intensity values to wide range of output levels, and wide range of input levels into narrow level of or narrow range of sorry, and wide range of input levels into narrow level of output levels. Sorry, narrow range of output levels. So So this you can see here. So first one is linear wedge gray scale image, right? Then response of monitor to linear wedge, right? Then gamma corrected wedge and output of the monitor. So here we have 4 images here. First one will indicate the magnetic response or MR image of a fractured human spine, right? And BCD, right? So BCD, these are the results of applying the transformation. That means power law transformation, C as 1 and gamma is 0.6, 0.4 and 0.3. So here. So in figure B, right, what is the value of gamma here? It is 0.6. Whereas in case of figure C, it is 0.4 and in case of your figure D, it is 0.3. Means by varying the gamma, right, you can get the image with the different clarities. So we have one more example related to power law transformation, right? So this is one aerial image, right? And figure B to D, these are the results of applying the transformation, that is power law transformation. Again C is made as one constant for all the 3 images and gamma it is varied here, it is 3, 4, 5. So here. So this is the original aerial image and this is the image after applying power law transformation, right? In this figure B, the value of gamma is kept for 3, right? In figure C, it is made as 4. In figure D, the gamma value is equated to 5. Hence, by varying the gamma values, you can have images with different clarities. That is the meaning. Yeah, next one is contrast stretching. So what happens is, in the case of your contrast stretching, right, we are making the darker pixels dark and brighter pixels a bit more bright. Here, by making this, you can have more information content, right? So here you can just go through this. So this is the graph indicating R versus S, means input gray level and output gray level, right? So form of transformation, that is figure A. Figure B, a low level contrast image. Low level contrast image means you can have less detail in this image. So what we are doing is, in figure C, the result of contrast stretching. So in this image, right, so whatever the intensities, those are almost darker or those are bit darker, right? We are making them as dark only. Say it is the intensity range is say from 0 to 255 and at the center I can have around 128 as the intensity values. So if the intensity values say around 70 or 50 or 80 and all, right, less than m, we are making them as 0 only, and greater than m, we are making them as L, means brighter. So that is your contrast stretching. Yeah. Then D is result of thresholding, right? So clear. So why we require is you can, after contrast stretching, you can have more details in the processed image. So again you can make out the difference here. This is again a piecewise linear transformation. So this is original image, this is processed image. So next one is gray level slicing. So what is gray level slicing is, again we can define or we can explain using by looking into these diagrams. So this transformation highlights the range AB of a gray levels and reduces all others to a constant level. So say this is the input image, and this graph will indicate the intensities input, and yeah, this is the intensities, right? And in gray level slicing, what we are doing is we are highlighting the range AB only. So here, so this is the range of intensities in the original image. So what we are doing is in gray level slicing we are highlighting only the particular range. We are highlighting only this AB part, right? So this transformation highlights the range AB but preserves all the other levels, right? So this is after the gray level slicing, means only you are highlighting some part of the image. That is done by your gray level slicing. Same thing, gray level slicing. Last one is last one is bit plane slicing. Bit plane slicing means say this is one 8-bit image, right? So this is bit plane 0, bit plane 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can have 8 bit planes, bit plane 0 to bit plane 7. So bit plane 0, I can say it is least significant. Bit plane 7 is most significant bit, right? If you are looking into an grayscale image, means each pixel can be represented by 8 bits, right? Each pixel is represented by 8 bits. So the rightmost bit we can call it as least significant bit, and leftmost bit is called as most significant bit. I can say the most significant will have more information content, right? So that can be explained with respect to these examples here. So this is one original image, right? And starting from the bottom, right? Just check this image, right? So this is indicating bit plane 0. Means I can say if you compare this with original image, information content is very less, right? So now I am increasing the bits towards the left side. So this is rated to bit plane 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Means the most significant bit will have the more information content in the image. Means it will have more weightage compared to the other bits, right, in that particular pixel. Okay, so this is about image enhancement.